yogis, or non-yogis if you're here from somewhere else. I have been asked by one of my students in my Sunday class to help her release the psoas muscle. So I was telling her all about the psoas muscle and how important it is in our practice, and how a lot of people don't know about it actually, and we need to really focus on that muscle to help us untangle all sorts of things that are happening in our bodies. If you don't know what the psoas muscle is, I'll explain a little bit about that briefly. I just thought I would give you 5 or 6 different releases for the psoas muscle, because it's so important to release this muscle. So I thought actually this isn't what I usually do, and this is really new for me, but I thought I would record this little video and put it on my YouTube page, because I thought then it's useful and I'm not just sharing it with one person. Actually someone else might like to watch it, and it's quite useful to come back to as well. So I'm going to leave it here for her to have a look at, and if anyone else is interested then you can have a follow as well. So the psoas muscle is located right at the bottom of or the top of our thighs, and it goes from the inside of our thighs here all the way round and connects at the back of the spine, at the bottom of the spine. So it's a huge muscle. This muscle is responsible for supporting and holding the top of the body and the bottom of the body. So it's where the bottom meets the middle, so it's like the horizon line. And in yoga I like to think of it as where the sky meets the earth. So this horizon line where all of this power is coming from the top and the bottom, all of this energy meets in the middle, and that meets in your psoas muscle. And the psoas muscle is really easy to get squished up and knotted up, and it holds loads and loads of energy, and we can store loads of emotions in there as well. So when we go through any traumas or any emotional disturbances that we go through in our bodies, it can be stored in the psoas muscle. So the psoas can become really tight and tense, and it can really stick together. And what we want to try and do is open up the psoas and release, so that we can release the top from the bottom, and we can start to open up our bodies a lot more. It's not just responsible for things like back bending and things like that. Yes, when you back bend, you want to open up the front body, and you want to let them release from the backs of the legs as well, and the back body. But the psoas muscle is also responsible for where the hips open as well. So I'll just show you on my body, because you can see it quite clearly, and this is quite common for a lot of people. I tend to have a body that goes like this, okay? So the front of my body here tends to come forward. My bottom sticks out of the back, and I have this dip in my bottom, and I'm over exaggerating so you can see it now what's happening. But my psoas muscle is so tight now from standing like this normally, that what I have to do is try and peel in my tummy, making my tummy flat and flattening the back of my spine, which stretches the psoas muscle. Because it's used to being like this, the psoas muscle here is nice and tight now, but when I open, it has to stretch out that muscle. So even practicing standing like this, and when I practice my yoga practice, I have to stand up nice and tall, squeezing in the tummy, squeezing in the bottom to really get my body to turn this way, and now I'm opening the psoas muscle already. So if you have a similar problem where your bottom comes out and your belly tends to come forward, that can also be a really tight psoas muscle. So we're going to try and open the psoas, okay? So I'll just show you quickly a couple of things that are really nice for the psoas. The postures that I'm going to show you are yin style, and when we practice yin, we hold the posture, we hold the asana for a longer period of time, which means that the muscle has a chance to release and relax. And when we breathe, we can start to open up that muscle. It's not something we do in a vinyasa class or a hatha class. We don't spend enough time in the posture to be able to open things, which is why yin's really nice, because it really lets the muscles release and relax. So the postures I'm going to show you are more yin style postures, so you might need a block, or maybe you might want to grab a couple of pillows or something to prop underneath you, because we're going to be holding it for a longer period of time. So I want you to get comfortable, okay? And don't force your body into anything that doesn't feel comfortable. Okay, let's get to it. So, the first thing we're going to do here is simply have our knees in the air. So placing your knees in the air, the soles of the feet flat on the floor, and we're going to lie down. You might not be able to see me here because I'm going to come out shot, so I'm going to shuffle forward so I can still speak to you. So we're going to lie down on the mat here. You can place a pillow underneath your head if you need to as well. Lie down on the floor. Lie in a nice comfortable position, so I don't want you to try and flatten out your body. So here, I lift my arms up, you can see. Where I have the dip in my spine, naturally, my spine wants to lift off the floor. If I push my back to the floor, I am engaging my tummy, I'm engaging the psoas muscle here, but I want to just relax for a minute. I don't want to try and force anything. So lie in a nice comfortable position. If it's comfortable with your back on the floor, then lie here. Otherwise, lie where it feels comfortable. Hands facing down. Release the shoulders, make sure the shoulders aren't up by the ears. Nice and relaxed, feet flat on the floor. I'm going to take a few breaths here. I just like to rock my neck from side to side a couple of times so I can relax my neck. And finish in the middle where it feels nice and comfortable on the back of the head. I'm going to close my eyes. Make sure my feet are nice and flat on the floor. Breathing in and out through the nose. I'm going to hold here for 20 minutes. So I will show you the next muscle release, so you don't have to watch the full 20 minutes here of me just lying here. But slowly, slowly as I start to relax, my spine will slowly start to come down to the floor. Slowly, slowly as my psoas releases, it will come down to the floor and I'll start to relax. Okay, so hold here for 20 minutes. It might feel like this is really doing nothing, but trust me, this is the first stage of releasing the psoas muscle, okay? The next thing we're going to do is place our soles of our feet together. So after 20 minutes, slowly bring the soles of your feet together, still staying on the floor. Soles of the feet come together like a butterfly pose, and we're going to hold here for another 10 minutes, okay? Just releasing. So, lying here again. So I was here before with my knees up. Soles of the feet come together. Slowly lowering the knees down, nice and gently again. Now after 20 minutes, my spine will have relaxed. The psoas is starting to relax. Now we're going to give it another 10 minutes here, not bouncing the knees, not moving the legs. Just breathing nice and calmly in and out through the nose. And wait for the psoas muscle to gently release. So 10 minutes here. And then after 10 minutes, before we start to move the legs, I want you to take the legs from underneath the thighs and gently bring the legs together with the hands. So we're being nice and gentle with the psoas muscle. We don't want to release or pull anything too tight. So bring the knees together with the hands, okay? I like to rock from side to side here just to release. So taking the knees, hugging in the knees, rocking from side to side. You can make nice big circles with the knees if that feels nice too. Okay, then after that, so that's 20 minutes and for the first one, 10 minutes for the second release with the legs open. So now we've done half an hour. Now we're going to turn over onto the front. So we come all the way over onto the front. I probably shouldn't have done this after eating a huge lunch. May need a pillow for this one because sometimes you need to release even further. I'll show you this from the front so it's slightly easier. Come onto all fours. So hands over your shoulders, wrists in line with the shoulders, knees in line with the hips, nice and straight, straight spine. I'll just show you this facing forward. And then I want you to walk your knees out slowly, slowly, slowly. We're going to walk the knees out to the side. So nice and slowly, don't force anything here. Nice and slowly. Then opening up the feet to the side. So as you can see here, I've got my knees coming out to the side and my ankles are are in line with my knees, so it's directly behind. You can either place your feet facing forward or place your feet to the side. Now, seeing as I haven't stretched or released my muscle, you can see that I've got a gap off the floor. Now, if you need to, place a blanket, anything inside that's going to help you release. And come down onto your elbows, nice and slowly, holding here. And then we're going to come all the way down. Only if it feels nice, come all the way down to the floor. Forehead on the floor. Otherwise, you can stay here. Okay, and we're just going to release, breathing in and out through the nose. Okay, we're going to do 10 minutes here. And then slowly when we're ready, if you're all the way down on the floor, come up onto your elbows. And then slowly, slowly come back up onto your hands. And before we go anywhere, we're going to tuck the feet in behind us. We're going to be really careful with the psoas muscle. We don't want to pull anything. So tucking in the feet behind us. Slowly use the hands to lift all the way back up. This is really important because I see some people in this posture and they're trying to squeeze the knees together. And it looks really painful. So be really careful. Use the hands, use the arms, the power in the arms to bring yourself up. Okay, so the next posture is the crescent lunge, or sometimes called the low lunge as well. So the easiest way to come into this, I mean, you can do this in your vinyasa practice as well. If you're practicing your vinyasa from downward facing dog, you can then step the foot through. So let's say we're stepping the right foot through first, right foot steps through, or you can just come into this from a normal, if you're just releasing the psoas and you're not practicing in vinyasa, you can just come into this posture. So right foot facing forward, left foot behind. Now, what I want you to do here, we're going to make sure that our knee is in line with our ankle. So we've got a nice straight line here. I'm going to move the left foot behind us. So I'm going to move the left knee so that I can get ready for this nice big release. So I'm moving that leg behind me, so I'm already having a nice stretch from the back. Now, really important, I don't want you to take the foot behind you and yank the foot. I want you to lift the foot first, so see if the foot wants to come off the floor. So we're going to lift the left foot first. See if the left foot wants to come up towards the hand, and then we're going to take the hand, okay? You can place a blanket underneath your knee. I see a lot of people doing this in the class, so lift up the knee, place a blanket underneath, protect the knee, okay? Otherwise you can do it without a blanket, but when we hold it here, it does become sometimes a bit sore because our knee is just literally on the mat. So I would at least have a mat on the floor when you're practicing this. So leaning forward first, let's make sure we've got some nice weight in the front. So shift the weight forward. I like to have my right hand on my right knee to do this. Then I lift up the back foot, so lifting up the left foot. Take the hand, so left hand takes the left foot, okay? I'm going to take the foot from the inside here, holding here. And what I want you to do is hold again. We're going to take here, hold, release. You can take one hand down to the floor as well if that feels nice. Again, as I said, you can take a pillow underneath the foot or a blanket underneath the foot. So make sure the foot wants to come up first before you yank it. We're never going to yank the foot. Taking the foot from the inside, so flip the hand around. And I'm going to start to gently pull on the back foot. Nice and gently, I don't want to yank the foot towards me, I'm just going to pull. So you can see here, I'm completely opening the psoas muscle here. My left leg, so this leg behind me, is the one that's doing all the work here. So I can feel the psoas muscle releasing from the top of the thigh. Okay, so either the hand on the knee or the hand on the floor, if that feels nice, we're going to hold here. Nice tall spine, the spine is nice and engaged. Facing forward. Again, I just want you to hold here. We're going to hold for 10 minutes in this posture, so holding. Again, it's a long time, so we're going to hold, okay? If 5 minutes feels enough, then I want you to stay here. It's quite a deep stretch. And after, slowly release the foot, let go of the foot, let the foot come down to the floor first. Then we take the hands down to the floor. I like to step the foot back. So tucking the toes at the back first. Step the right foot back into a nice low plank here. I can already feel the psoas muscle releasing. And then I'm going to immediately step the left foot through. Okay, so I'm coming in on the other foot now. Right knee comes to the floor. Again, making sure that my knee is in line line with the ankle, doesn't want to come behind or over. So we don't want to do this. We want to be in one nice long straight line. So a nice line here. I'm going to lean forward into that right and to the left leg again before I move anywhere. Again, place the blanket under your knee if you need to. Otherwise you can go without the blanket. I'm going to place left hand, left knee to start. Leaning my hips forward, so I'm already leaning into that psoas muscle. And I'm going to make sure that the foot wants to come up first behind me. I'm not just going to yank it. Then I take the ankle, turn the hand inside, taking the hand from the inside, holding here. Nice tall spine. Breathing in and out through the nose, the belly can move. I can already feel this muscle here wanting to release. Looking forward. Again, you can have left hand on left knee. This is where I like to hold. Some people do like to have the hand on the floor. That does increase the stretch, so just see how you feel. Again, 10 minutes on this side. You can engage the toes, so point the toes if you like, or you can have the foot flexed. I think the toes pointed also engage the back of the foot as well. It just feels much nicer stretch. Again, after 10 minutes, let the foot go behind you nice and gently. Hands come down to the floor. Step the left foot back now. Nice low plank, and I'm going to take a child's pose here. Knees come to the floor. I'm going to take the arms behind me this time. Come all the way down, forehead on the floor. Let's take a couple of breaths here. Okay? So that is number 4. And then last but not least, I'm going to show you a variation of the lizard. Again, you can step into this from your vinyasa, or if you're just doing these postures and you're not doing a flow or anything, then come into a nice plank position. So, wrists over our shoulders as always. Step into a nice plank if you're not coming from your flow. We're going to step the right foot forward. This time we're going to step the foot the other side of our hand, okay? So we're going to have the foot on the outside of the hand. Hands are on the inside, foot comes to the outside. Nice tall spine. We can either put the knee to the floor behind us and release the foot. So the foot's either up in the air here, or you can have the foot flat on the floor, or you can hold the knee up, so lifting the knee here, depending on how you want to stretch. You can hold here for a couple of minutes. This is a really nice release, or bring the knee down to the floor, and we can roll the foot, so right foot starts to roll onto the side. So we're coming onto what we call the knife edge of the foot here. So right on the edge of the foot here, rolling the foot over onto the side. This is opening up the hips here from the inside, okay? Again, we're going to hold this for 3 minutes. If you're not rolling the foot onto the side, have the foot facing forward. And as I said before, pick up the toes at the back, lift the knee, and hold here, okay? Again, really strong, both really nice postures. And whichever posture you're in, whether you've got your foot on the side or foot facing forward, if your foot's to the side, roll the foot forward. If you're here already, pick up the knee at the back if you've not already picked it up. We're going to bring the right foot to join the back again, high plank. Inhale, bring the left foot forward. So immediately we're going to swap sides this time with no break in between. Either bring the knee to the floor, untuck the toes at the back. Holding here, make sure you haven't moved the hands. Nice tall spine. So we're either going to roll the foot to the side again. So coming onto the knife edge this time with the left foot, rolling onto the side. Or plant the foot facing down. So making sure again the foot's nice and flat on the floor. Spread the fingers again, really important, spreading the fingers nice and wide. If the foot's facing down, we can tuck the toe at the back, lift the knee, and we can come into the lizard posture here. Both equally really nice, but just make sure you do the same on both sides. So if you lift the knee on the right side, then lift the knee on the left, okay? Be really gentle with the knees. If your knee's on the floor and you're rolling your foot to the side, you may want to pop a blanket or something underneath the knee here. Okay, just be really nice and gentle. Again, we're focusing on the psoas muscle to just protect the knees. Once you've finished here, we're going to do 3 minutes of the same on both sides. 2 or 3, I can't remember what I said. I think I said 3. It should be 3. We will tuck the toes at the back if you haven't already. Stepping back into a plank position, knees to the floor. This time just for a different variation. I'm going to leave my hands facing forward, forehead to the floor. And I want to open up the knees. So opening up the knees nice and wide, sinking all the way down to my child's pose. Forehead on the floor. Palms facing down, spreading the fingers. Let's get some nice fresh air in the body. Breathing here. Completely release and surrender. Okay, we'll take 5 minutes in our child's pose. It's quite a long time, but it's a nice release, completely relaxed. And then we'll slowly, it's very windy outside, slowly roll onto our backs. Take a nice Shavasana. So legs flat on the floor, palms facing up. Gently open up the feet. We're going to completely relax. I'm completely out of shot as well, I'm sorry. Rocking the head from side to side. Let the head rest in the middle when it's ready. Palms facing up, as I said. Let's get some energy in here. Nice big breath in through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Shoulders come away from the ears. Feet flopped out to the side. We take a nice relaxing Shavasana. 10 minutes would be ideal, but take as long as you've got. At least a minute in Shavasana, the longer the better. And completely relax, okay? Okay? Make sure you do always take a Shavasana after any yoga postures that you do. It's really important to take Shavasana, even if you're practicing for 10 minutes, always take a Shavasana, even if it's for a minute. Really, really important. I hope that was useful to somebody. Yeah, I think if this is helpful to somebody and you'd like to see more, then I can try and film some other of these little stories and do some more releases on on specific muscles. But the psoas muscle is one of my favourite muscles, especially because I have to really work my psoas muscle in order to obviously correct my posture, and I always am using the psoas muscle in every practice. I have to really connect to it. So maybe this might be helpful for you if you're getting stuck in certain postures and things. So enjoy, let me know what you think, and yeah, I will see you really soon. Thank you, namaste.